Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Aaron Frank. I'm a Stanford internal medicine resident. I used to work as a television producer, and then I decided to change careers, went back to school, went to a Postbacc, did the MCAT, went to medical school, and now I'm at Stanford University for their internal medicine residency program. So this video is going to be very specific on what is a Post-Bacc program. If you Google Postbacc, you will see Post-Bacc with a dash, Post-Bacc without a dash, Post-Bacc with one C, Post-Bacc with two Cs, Post-Baccalaureate program, Post-Baccalaureate spelled two different ways. I don't really know. I think in my application for medical school, I think I just said Post-Bacc. It seemed the most formal. I don't know. But when I talk about a Post-Bacc program, it's a Post-Bacc pre-med program. They have those also, though, for PA school, for nursing school, but we'll do those in a separate video. I'm just going to focus on a Post-Bacc pre-med program because that's what I did and that's what I'm the most familiar with, and hopefully I can help kind of for you to think through, is this right for you and which type of program should I do? So I did the George Washington University Post-Bacc program. That was the one I did. This was a relatively new program when I did it. It was a one-year program. I started, I think, in May 2018, and then I went to April 2019. I then did the MCAT May 2019, and I applied COVID. I started medical school in August 2020 during COVID. So that's kind of the route I took. So the George Washington University Post-Bacc is a formal Post-Bacc program. These are typically 1 to 2 years, full-time, meaning you really should not be trying to work during this time. But the benefit of this is that it has every pre-med prereq in its own schedule that allows you to basically crunch through all the different classes you needed in a very short, focused amount of time. That's Gen Chem, 1 year of physics. It'll have 1 year of organic chemistry, and it'll also have 1 year of biology. It's really compressed, it's really crunched. I think my Gen Chem, I did Gen Chem 1, which is typically like 15 weeks, I guess, or like a semester. I did it in 6 weeks at the same time learning physics, and then I had physics 2, and then Gen Chem 2, and then Orgo at the same time with bio. It was like a wild thing, and you all have labs. It was a pretty intense thing. The days for this for me were typically, and I looked back at my schedule to kind of see what it was, but it was typically Monday through Thursday, where you have class for maybe 2 hours plus lab, and then the next day you have like a different class in a lab, etc. And that was probably 2 hours. And then each day before and after class, I'm studying for typically 3 to 6 hours of studying. Because it's so fast, there's a lot of self-studying that you have to do. And I'll do a separate video on tips on how to deal with this kind of speed. Because I had to relearn how to study. I didn't really know how to study when I was an undergrad, so I had to be here. It's like, I don't even know what this means. They say comprehend. I don't even know what comprehending means. I read it, it makes sense. I do a problem, I get it wrong. It was a whole thing. But I can give you some tips for this. So they're typically, though, like 8 to 10-hour days. It's pretty intense. Pros of a formal Post-Bacc program, and I'll get into the cons, are it's fast. So if you want to just like, boom, I'm ready, I want full speed ahead, I've never done science, but forget it, I'm going to YOLO it. The pro also is that it is dedicated, meaning that the professors know that you're part of this, the advisors are part of the program, the mentors are part of this program, they've had people go through this before. So you know that the schedule is kind of set up for you to succeed within reason if you put in the work. The mentors are there to help you. You'll kind of start pre-writing your personal statement midway through. There's an MCAT program typically. They have to pay. It's like kind of built into the position, into the program. But there's an MCAT program. They help do this. Kind of focuses a little bit more on MCAT type, medical school type, not as much for just like general biology. Other pros. The community is great. At GW, it was like 32 of us, and I felt like we were in the pressure cooker. It was super intense. It was the same people in the same classes. It's kind of like when you were in a small class in high school and you really knew the good, the bad, and the ugly about everybody. People definitely saw me freak out more than once. But the community is really great. You're all in it together. You're not doing it alone. Another pro of this is it's actually convenient. Convenient in the sense that you don't really need to think about what do you need to do. You just need to show up and keep showing up. You know that these are the courses you need. You don't have to be like, oh, is this actually Gen Chem 1 or is this like Gen Chem 1 for a non-science major, and make sure that works. It's convenient also because you have all the classes. You don't need to sign up for things. My wife, who's doing a informal community college Post-Bacc, which I'll tell you, 10 days out, she has to sign up for classes. And if she doesn't get the class, she doesn't get the course. It pushes things out even farther. So convenient meaning you join, you start, you committed, you're done. The cons of a formal Post-Bacc, it's expensive. It's like the tuition of I guess not full undergrad year, but for me at GW, I think it was around $25,000 for the tuition. And then I had to pay living, which was, let's just say, to keep it even, 20 grand. And since it's not like an undergrad class, it's odd. It's a weird designation. You don't get the full tuition covered or the full housing recovered. So maybe I don't remember fully, but let's say I got 20K in government loans. So the rest I had to get from, family, savings. Some people do like credit card or bank loans. So it can be expensive. It's not great if this is a real priority for you. Other cons, it's fast. There is very little room for error. You start, you got to go. Because Gen Chem's done in 6 weeks, and you got physics on top of that, and then Gen Chem's 2. So if you're behind on day 1, you're going to be behind on day 2. Day 5, it just compounds. So it's really fast-paced, which I liked. I was like, let's just do it. I don't want to change my mind. I want to go all in. But it's fast. And so if the speed you're concerned of, I'd recommend then more of an informal program. Another con is you typically, depending on where you live, you probably are going to have to move. I had to go to GW, which is in Virginia. But all the other programs I applied to were in different states, and I would have had to move. So if location's important to you, you have family, kids, what have you, and you can't move, I think a formal program is probably not the best choice for you. Con also, can't work, or at least I don't think you should. This pace that we did, it was too fast. You're doing 8 to 10 hour days. For me, Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday. And I would do like 12-day study days straight and then a day off, maybe on day 13. So if you're working, I don't think it'd be possible to do this properly. You want to do this right. You want to get your A's. You want to do great in the MCAT. And you don't want to mess this up. And I think if you worked with doing this, it'd be too much, personally. And then I think also some of the cons are some of the pros for different people. Fast, that might not be your style. Dedicated, you might want more flexibility. MCAT prep, you might be like, I'll just do my own MCAT prep. I have an MCAT tutor or a friend that was an MCAT tutor, and they can just do it they can help me with it. Community, you might be like, I don't want to be with people. And convenient, it's convenient, but also can be inconvenient because you got to move, tuition, you can't work, etc.